direct from the universe. Intuition is the innate signature of agreeable energy within your field. It's just completeness, that feeling. I wish I could have it all the time, but when it does happen, it's gold. Everything buzzes. It's just like light within you.
It's our true soul script, and if we're courageous and trusting enough to listen to it, it takes us on a journey that our soul actually wants to experience. I see intuition as like a pinball machine where those little rudders just knock you back into the game and, nudge you a little bit here and a little bit there. That's the visual that I get when I think of intuition.
Let's dive in to a DM with the universe.
Welcome to a DM with the universe. My name is Hayley.
And I'm Laura.
And we are going to talk about how to develop your intuition today. We have channeled some information from the universe. We have a guided meditation at the end and some tips to help you really build that intuitive muscle.
We do. But before we get into this incredible episode, Hayley, I just wanted to share with our audience what's happened in the last week. So we were all set, ready, prepared, makeup, lights, camera, about to hit action on recording this episode last Friday. However, it didn't happen for the fact that I was not able to drop into our connection meditation that we do. I was missing in action, wasn't I?
Completely.
You couldn't connect with me.
I couldn't find it anywhere in the ether.
I couldn't connect with me. And it was a really beautiful reminder from the universe about working with our intuition. So as our listeners know, we are intuitively guided, and all of the information that comes through is not from Laura and Hayley. It's channeled wisdom. So to be able to access that, I needed to be connected in with my intuition, and was in my head too much. I had a client coming in that afternoon and I could actually feel his energy coming in and just demanding my time. And wasn't able to show up and be really present. Yeah. I was disassociated from my body. So we honoured our intuition, and we decided that we'll connect again early in the week on that Monday. As the dear universe would have it. Over the week, both of our husbands ended up in hospital. One was an emergency situation that saw me flying over to Melbourne for a couple of days. The other one maybe not quite. It had been an emergency situation.
It's a follow-up to an emergency last week.
So as much as we, the two humans here, had scheduled, okay, well, we'll be able to drop straight into our intuition and let's record this one on Monday. The universe had completely different timing. So here we are.
Finally.
An entire week later, and we've managed to connect in this morning and get some really beautiful confirming messages from the universe that we are good to go. So just a really important message on how working with your intuition shows up in everyday life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the universe has actually brought through some really great messaging and some definitions as well to work with. So did you want to kick us off with how the universe sees intuition?
Love to. To start with, let us explain what intuition is. So this is direct from the universe. Intuition is the innate signature of agreeable energy within your field. Now, I want to break that down a little bit, and we'll just talk about each of those key things. So innate is your inner knowing. It's not learned, it's what you're born with. It's just what we will sort of classify intuition as. Then we've got signature. The fact that the word signature has been used is very much about a personal relationship to that innate knowing. So this is your way of feeling this innate knowing. And then the third part of that was the agreeable energy. So agreeable energy feels like flow, it feels bubbly, it feels exciting, it feels heightened. All those bits combined, that's what they are framing is intuition, which I think, it's a really sort of very succinct way of saying it, but it actually says so much in that one sentence.
Yeah.
So intuition allows our human form or our physical form to feel the etheric or energy form. And this is what they say is the foundation of all freedom. It's free will and intuition that vibrate in accordance with each other. So they are like partners in crime. One leads the other and they develop their own sense of direction. And this is powerful beyond words. I'll just cover what that actually says is when we follow our intuition, we follow our free will. Often if we go against our intuition or if we plainly have just no awareness of our own intuition, we make choices based on our environment or based on other people's demands or their expectations. And yeah, I know that's still free will because you still are making a choice, but you're doing it without the alignment of your intuition's best interests. And that's that sort of dance that they're talking about between free will and intuition, is that you will have a more free-flowing, in tune life if you're following your intuition. And sometimes that means your intuition is telling you not to do something as well. So just to be clear about that, it does take you in a forward momentum, but it doesn't always feel like happiness and excitement.
And it doesn't always feel like it's agreeable with perhaps where you want to head in life, with the direction you want to take as well.
That's right, because we can often be very driven by our mind or an expectation of something that we think in the physical is the right way to go about it. But intuitively or innately, there might be better options for us.
Yeah.
Like not doing the podcast.
Yeah.
In our mind, it was like, we've got the right time here. We've got makeup on. It's time to do it. But yeah, even though it felt like it wasn't the agreeable thing to do, it was the right thing to do.
It was, for sure.
So just getting back to beyond words, that intuitive pull that we all feel at times in our lives is in place of verbal cues. Intuition doesn't need sound. It doesn't need to be expressed. It sits silently within, and it actually speaks very loudly, contrary to the many of us that believe it doesn't when we can't hear it. Yeah, and I love this next bit, which I think just summarizes intuition for me as well. Intuition is a feeling of complete faith in the fabric of creation. It brings you into alignment with your greatness and your greatest drive. And when I follow my intuition, if I get a really strong indication or moment of intuitive knowing, and then I can see that end result of that decision as well, I just feel so at peace and so in tune and so aligned to all of creation. I just feel like, yes, this is what life's about.
Yeah, I would say the same. And for those that have listened to the Soul Family and Soul Contracts episode, I feel like intuition is embedded within what our agreement was coming through into this lifetime. When we listen to our intuition, it feels like it's our true north. It's our inner guidance to stay on path for what we were destined to achieve in this lifetime, or for the lessons that we wanted to achieve.
Yeah, what we signed up for.
Yeah, so it's our true soul script. And if we're courageous, vulnerable enough and trusting enough to listen to it, it takes us on a journey that our soul actually wants to experience.
I do love intuition, even though it does feel hard to hear sometimes, and I think we all go through that. So I want to make everyone feel at ease that everyone has the moments where they're just like, what? Intuition? It just does not exist in my field right now. But when you are attuned to it, it really does make your life a lot easier.
Yeah. It's I see intuition sometimes, for those that are visual thinkers like I see intuition as like a pinball machine where those little rudders just knock you back into the game and nudge you a little bit here and a little bit there. That's the visual that I get when I think of intuition.
Yeah, that's cute. I like that. Getting back to the general message, intuition can be seen in children. Without the words to express themselves, they maneuver their bodies in alignment with what feels expansive and explorative, and what brings joy, or the expectation of joy, as they find their way in their physical form. Children, it can teach us a lot about intuition because they rely on their own self-knowing and that inner compass to navigate the world. They say if we were to all operate in a similar fashion, pulled only by the forces of innate knowledge and not learnt knowledge, we would be an awakened race once more. This is yet to reform on our planet, but it will in due course, for all without exception.
Yeah. just coming back to that connection with our inner child or our childlike being.
And it makes sense. It's like if you've got no preformed ideas or anything, you only have your intuition to guide you. That you know nothing else at that point. So yeah, to be able to sit back into ourselves and really connecting with that inner child part of ourselves, that's only going to build intuition.
I would almost say that curiosity plays quite a role in intuition as well. You can see when the opposite is at play, when you're shutting yourself down and keeping yourself safe and small and not following your intuition, whereas oftentimes it takes a lot of courage to follow that nudge, that intuitive nudge.
Absolutely. So to feel the inner development of your own intuition, you must be able to still yourself into the present moment. Intuition happens in the now and cannot project feeling into a future potential. It can, just so you understand, it can hold understanding of a future potential, but to feel intuition, which is precisely how it operates within our body, this feeling sense, it must be located in the now. And this is a blanket statement coming up that they want us to all think about. You all feel intuition uniquely. And this is why, without exception, you find it hard to learn the process of intuitive development, because each of us has a different need and a different understanding of intuition for ourselves, and therefore you often doubt the concept that intuition even exists.
Yeah.
They want to alleviate our concerns. It does. It's real, it's present for everyone, and it's your most powerful ally if you wish to come into complete alignment and union with yourself.
Yeah, it is not a one-size-fits-all. So you can't just sign up to a 3-hour online course on how to connect in with the intuition. That is probably quite reflective of how that particular practitioner connects in with their intuition, but not necessarily how you might be able to achieve that.
Absolutely. And I've felt that in my own development over the years, and particularly when I was younger, when I was seeking and trying to really build this foundation of intuition and psychic ability, that every teacher that I had during those years would tell me something different, or would tell me that, my guides are there talking to me, you just have to follow your intuition. And I would get so frustrated because I'm like, how do I do that? Because everyone's telling me something different.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's beautiful about what Laura's about to offer us now in the channeled instruction that they've provided us, that it really hands the reins back to you, but in a way where there is some guidance, there's a little bit of structure around it, but it can really help you understand that actually my intuition is going to be slightly different to yours and yours and yours.
Yeah, yeah. And it can change throughout your lifetime as well. That was quite an aha moment for me. So the universe has given us some guidance on how we should each approach the development of our own intuitive spark. The starting point for all intuitive understanding is presence. Returning to the moment of now is absolute grounding. One must present to themselves in honesty and integrity. And that feeds back into the whole reason why we didn't continue trying to film last week, is because I wasn't aligned with my true soul essence, my truth of who I am. Or how can I expect my intuitive radar to be 100%? Yeah. So, yes. Thank you, universe. Wise words. If you do feel confused at the present moment of now, your intuitive indication will also be confused. Now, this is really important because people will follow intuition without precursor to their mood. So the next step in coming into the now, so really anchoring into your body, is to be very, very clear and ask your being, am I feeling whole right now? Do I have the energy to attune to my inner compass? If your body responds with an ounce of doubt or physical expression of fear, so that might feel like butterflies, shivers, your blood sugar levels can drop, you can have that dread in your stomach, the universe says, then we advise, do not rely on your intuition as gospel. I just wanted to talk to that point because I think that is one of the most critical points that the universe has provided us is it is so important to be embodied. So as the somatic practitioner in the house, that is what I continue to teach my clients, is getting out of their head and into their heart space, really consuming who they totally are. And when you can do that, then you can be guided by your intuition. When you're not coming from a place of embodiment and you are in your head, that is your mind dictating to you or feeding off of your fear or telling you where you should or shouldn't be going based on your fear. So there's a very fine line between an anxiety response and an intuitive response.
Absolutely. Well
So
said.
the universe giving us those two questions is, am I truly aligned with my body? Should be the first question anybody asks when they get an intuitive ping.
Yeah. Particularly if it's a decision that is going to make a drastic change to your life.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
what you're going to have for breakfast, you know.
No.
It's not going to make a major difference to the rest of your life. But for those big, big decisions, if you're not totally embodied, even your intuition's not going to lead you there.
No, not at all. It could likely be a fear response.
Yeah.
So if you do feel empowered and light in that response, then the intuition you seek will also be empowered and light. The universe says that it's their recommendation for you to then move forward with its calling, which I thought was really beautiful.
Yeah.
A great reminder. In times of inner instability, when many would say that intuition is most required, where we are looking for answers outside of ourselves, the universe suggests that we take ourselves out of the decision-making process and drop ourselves back into our heart space. So again, out of your head, into your heart. I love this next bit. Peacefully reside in a space of self until you can find a pace or balance that does not feel fragile or fired up. It must be repeated. Intuition is only as good as the individual feels. So if you feel dismayed or disassociated, then you can no longer trust your intuition. The universe provided some beautiful guidance that it can take some time to redirect your energy back into self. So it might take a day, a week, or a month until you can come back into your truth and find your presence, and that is okay. Your intuition works like a car. When it's serviced regularly, it will give you the best results. But if you leave it without new tyres or taking it to a mechanic, it will simply limp along. So for peak intuitive performance, you need to ensure that your vehicle, and in this situation, it's your body, mind and soul, are continuously cared for. Once you can bring yourself into the now moment, hold your focus on your being. You may choose to bring this directly into your physical body, should you be more physically attuned. Others may choose to bring it into their mental body if they're more mentally attuned. The emotional body, if, again, you're more emotionally attuned, or bringing it into that spiritual body if you're more spiritually attuned. So this is where the uniqueness that you spoke about begins to form.
Yep.
In this present moment, you will rely on the most direct routes for your personal understanding, noting that this can change over time. So just be aware that if one form of direct intuitive guidance starts to feel a little bit off track, it may simply have just moved to another expression within the being.
Yep.
I personally know that depending on who I'm connecting with, depending on the situation or the energy that I'm around, I actually might intuitively get information through my physical body. So if I'm working on clients, my body physically attunes to their body and I get those intuitive pings as to perhaps what might be happening in them, and I'm able to then help guide their attention into that particular part of their body. So that physical intuition works really well in that aspect. Sometimes I'm emotionally attuned to people. So I feel a big overwhelm if they're overly emotional as well. So I can tap into that. I know that when you and I connect in, it is all spiritual. So it's just this download of knowing, and it feels so different to the physical or the emotional as well. So that's where I think it's really important for people to understand that it can swap and show up as one form versus another, or you might have years of it just being physically, and then it might swap to mental or emotional from there.
Yeah. And like I've heard of people that they get an itchy palm, or there is like buzz, or there's a hot part on their body, like those really physical responses when they're being shown this is the way forward. So we have such a different way of receiving that information.
And it gives them permission to really lean into their uniqueness as well. This isn't us saying, this is how you feel intuition, because we feel it spiritually a lot of the time. It's a knowing. It's just giving our listeners the ability to exhale and go, oh, okay, so I feel it like this, and that's okay. So to give you some guidance as to how you might feel that physically, it could show up as a spark in your heart, as a flutter in your stomach, a twitch in your toes. Mentally, it may show up as a remembrance of time, a spark of creativity, or a flicker of inspirational thought. Emotional, it might be when you come close to tears in your eyes, you need a deep breath, pulsing of warmth in your heart, or joy expressed within the silence of being. Spiritually, it's just a knowing, clear, single-focused knowing, unwavering and inspiring. It cannot not be. Your spiritual form of your intuition is the true alignment with your soul aspect of self, and it is the most powerful presentation of intuition, and it cannot be hidden once it's bled through the veil.
Yeah.
That's powerful, isn't it?
Absolutely. And that's that feeling that I was saying before, where it talks about intuition being a representation of the absolute truth of the fabric of creation. And that's when that spiritual intuition, which is so aligned to your soul desire and your soul aspect, it like there is nothing else. It's just completeness. Like that feeling. Yeah. I wish I could have it all the time, but when it does happen, it's gold.
Yeah. Yep. It's divine. Yeah, it's divine, isn't it? Like, and you just know. You can feel it. You just know.
Everything buzzes. It's just like light within you.
So thank you, universe, because that was some really beautiful examples of the varied ways that your intuitive voice speaks. And it's up to you to discern your own language. As we said, no one can teach you. You already know within your heart of hearts. It's about being alert and uncomplicated. It doesn't need to take hours and hours of practice. It really just needs to be in that silent communication with self. Your inner relationship to be nurtured and then called upon in times of building the truth of your reality. Everyone is intuitive, all seeing, all knowing, and you must learn your own language to bring this into truth. It is a presence only you can gain yourself. The universe has said that we do hope this has given you a greater understanding of intuition and how you and only you must bring this into truth. It's your way, not the right way, which I think is incredibly important. No time for comparison.
No. And just loosens everything up, doesn't it? It's like, you can't do it wrong.
No, you can't.
Unless you're trying to align with something that isn't actually your unique language, but when you're actually engaged with it wholeheartedly for yourself, you actually can't do it wrong.
Yeah, I think exactly. When you're too much in your head, you're trying to overthink it. You're trying to get it right. That's the universe has said there's no right way. There's probably a wrong way, here.
That was a really good lesson on intuition, because I've struggled with that through my life, not feeling like I am connected enough, but just hearing that, and it's made me reflect on the ways intuition's shown up for me, and it really has changed and shifted over the years. And it does depend on the situation I'm in. So it makes me feel a lot more at peace within my own intuitive being.
And with all of that information, the universe is channeled through a really beautiful meditation to help connect us to our intuition. So I'm going to hand back to you to guide us?
Sure. So we'll get into that in a minute, but because there's not a one size fits all, it's not a meditation of we're going to teach you exactly how to get to your intuition. It's this grounding pad or the launch pad for intuition. If we reflect back on what they said, first of all, you have to come into a state of presence. So this is the meditation to help get you into that position so that your intuition is able to speak to you a lot clearer. Get comfy, everyone. Push pause and get yourself into a position that you feel that you can do this, or listen to it later if you're on a train or in a car. Yeah, we'll get started.
Yes, that's very important. Don't listen to it if you actually need to keep your eyes open. You need to be consciously present as well. Come back to it at another time.
And if this is the first time that you have actually listened to our podcast, it'd be great if you could give us a follow at whatever platform you're listening on. We're always open for your comments and feedback if you want us to channel on any specific topic.
So make sure you stay on to listen to that beautiful guided meditation from Hayley. But we thank you so much for joining us on the couch today, where the ordinary meets the extraordinary. Bye.
Bye. This meditation is to take you into a space of complete presence. In order to open into your own unique, intuitive calling. Gently bring yourself into the presence of your heart and take 3 deep, nourishing breaths so that we can begin to incite the belief that you are all that is. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe that out. Breathe in hold and let it all go. Bring your mind's attention to the base of your body, your intuitive seat. Allow the energy of life to swirl around your hips, your buttocks, and throughout your abdomen. You may see and feel this as a peaceful reminder that you are here, grounded in the reality of truth. That you hear my voice is confirmation that I am all that I am. I am all that I am. I am all that I am. Now, start to feel the peace encase your lower being. Allow this to deeply settle into the seat you find yourself in. Allow your reality to become completely present in this moment. Feel the cushion or the bed or the grass that holds you. Feel the presence of form beneath your body. As you ground into that feeling, the weight beneath you, you begin to feel or see an opening of light swirl in the center of your body. The light is bright and white and gently seeps throughout your torso. Allow your breath to bring this light into your arms and into your legs. And watch gently as the light floats up to cover your face and the back of your head. You sit now as a being of complete, whole, luminescent light. Feel this overcome you. Feel a complete peace within this space. Smile inside. Smile at the limitlessness of your being. Smile at the joy it spreads over your body. And smile at life. Hold yourself in this space for as long as you feel at peace. Allow the mind to drift into imaginings. Allow the heart to explode in love. and allow the presence of peace to fill every cell in your body. When the time comes for you to return to the world, come back through the lighted center of your being. Watch the luminescent light unfold into your heart, and come to open your eyes with a gentle gaze. This is the power of the now. Hold this as you move throughout your day and hear your intuition calling.